Wine as we knew it was almost wiped out in the late 1800s because of a tiny root louse called phylloxera. The only cure was to graft wine grapevines on different rootstock that the louse couldn't eat. Grafting is actually still practiced today. However, there are a few wine regions that were never infected with the louse. Which brings me to what's in my glass right here. Are you ready to learn by tasting? For a wine geek, wine isn't just a drink, it's a whole entire conversation between the grape and the land. So let's listen in. The first thing we'll do is to take a look at the color. This wine is a medium ruby color. That's pretty common. The alcohol content looks about average. This isn't telling me a whole lot yet. It's time to dig deeper. On the nose, I get roses, violets, ripe raspberry, a little wet rocks, and this funky dried jerky note. The red fruit and floral characteristics are definitely characteristics of the grape variety here, and those funky aromas tell me there might have been some kind of native fermentation going on, which means wild yeasts spontaneously ferment the wine. On the palate, it's lighter bodied with light yet ripe tannins and a pretty smooth finish. The big question here, I think, is what grape variety do you think it is? Is it Pinot Noir, Grenache, Merlot, or Cinsault? Let's mull it over while I ask Christine Marsilio to give us some more info.
The red fruit and low tannin immediately make us think of Pinot Noir, Cinsault, or Grenache. But the refreshingly high acidity really rules out Grenache. And that ripeness of fruit suggests warmth. This wine is from a climate that's a tad too sunny for Pinot Noir. That's right, Cinsault. But there aren't that many regions that focus on single varietal Cinsault. We can find old vines in South Africa and in Chile. In Chile, many old Cinsault vines still exist because they were never affected by phylloxera. And you'll find them growing in southern Chile in a region called Itata. Located near the Pacific Ocean, Itata benefits from the cold Humboldt Current, which brings cooling influences, slowing down the growing season. Tasters often attribute a signature mineral edge in these wines from the soils. They're granite-rich with quartz in them. Itata is also home to many old bush vines, some of which are over a century old. Old vines here are treasured for their richness, gaining complexity by digging in the soils really deep for nourishment and water. Let's head back to Madeline to learn more.
Our wine today is Di Martino Gallardia Cinsault from Val Itata. Today, Cabernet Sauvignon and Carménère are very important in Chile, but before all that, we had vineyards full of grapes like Cinsault and País. Di Martino is a fourth-generation wine family that makes wines in a fresher style that feature less oak and use native fermentations. Their Itata estate produces some of their most limited production wines using the region's historic vines and varieties. Given its lightweight profile, I would go for creamy sauces to complement the wine's acidity without losing its delicate floral character. This wine is part of Wine Folly Club, and if you join us, you can taste along while you learn. Until next time, happy tasting, salut!